Hello and welcome to another episode of The Newman Show. In fact, this is the second to last episode of The Newman Show. At least for a little while.
For a little bit.
Just so I could get my life back in order.
A little sabbatical.
Yeah. There's just a little too much on the plate right now.
It happens.
Hopefully, like I said, it's a short layoff, but I invited some of my favorite guests. Actually, I think you guys have been on the most often.
Have we?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
between both shows. Yeah.
Do we get like a jacket after 5 times like Saturday Night Live?
Oh, yeah. That might not be a bad idea.
The Five Timers Club.
5 timers club, exactly.
We might have to do something special for that.
The fourth. Well, this is 4th time, so one more, and
Then we split it each.
we're getting
It's
jackets.
8. I don't know.
Well, because you were on twice as people like back at back.
Yes.
I don't know if that
Yeah.
counts as one because it was a
one
continuation. We'll
extended.
have to see about that.
It's a technicality.
We'll go to the judges
we're
on
gonna-
that one.
Let's go to the videotape.
61 asterisks.
We're gonna get sued for that.
Yeah, probably.
Yes,
I'm not
you get sued
idiots.
for everything now.
I know.
Which is tonight's going to be kind of a
Segue.
bitch fest for us. Larry's gonna
It's like
watch
the
and
Frank show.
enjoy. Unless you got something you want to add in.
I think that's my title of my new
I
podcast.
think it depends on what the topics are going to be or what we discuss today, but I think I'll...
Yeah, well, we'll try to get through as much as we can.
Yeah, works for me.
You know how fast this hour goes.
Oh,
Yes,
God,
it's a
it's
very
the fastest
fast-
hour in television.
Yeah, so in the
60
meantime,
minutes.
let me plug some stuff. I know I said I'm just pulling some stuff up. I know I said I was taking a break, and I am taking a break, I promise. But
Next year.
Paul Bond asked, and of course I'm not going to say no to Paul. So this Sunday, I will be at the Actors Studio in Montauk, where I've been taking acting lessons. But Paul Bond teaches a comedy course there. Sunday's their graduation.
Oh, okay.
So they're all going to be performing live in front of the audience, and I'm going to be one of the features.
Oh, great.
Sweet.
So it is this Sunday, October 27th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $12, which is a bargain, and you're
Yeah, it's
going
not
to
bad at
see
all. Oh, yeah.
Paul Bond is headlining too. So you get
Oh,
to see
there you
Paul on top of everybody. And if these people are even half as good at comedy as they are at acting, because I know some of them from the class, it's going to be a great time. So I know I will be there. Some they have listed here, like Alex McKay, Lou Pratt, Stephanie Yorn, EJ Acosta, Jan Brenner. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I know Frank Fiella is one of the features as well. So
Okay.
definitely come down. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, it's only $12. It's limited seating, so don't wait. If you go on my Facebook page, you find a link to get the tickets, or I'm sure you could call the Actor Studio in Levittown, and they'll steer you in the right
Where
direction.
is that anyway?
It's right on Wanter Avenue in Levittown.
Oh,
The
close.
local, I think, is a bar right there. It's in that
Oh,
chain
yeah,
of stores.
yeah,
It's
okay.
like a 5, 6, 7,
Right
8
by the
cans.
Ralph's Ices over there, I think. It
Yeah,
is? Okay.
yeah.
It's a Ralph Ices everywhere.
But yeah, that's true too. They're almost as bad as Starbucks. But that's one thing going on. November 2nd, I'm going to be at the Shabby Tabby Cafe.
Only if you can pronounce it.
Yes, that's going to be pretty cool. It's like a coffee shop. I think it's a BYOB thing.
Oh, okay.
Shabby,
And
shabby.
it's for a cat rescue.
Oh, yes, I saw you mention
And what
that
it is,
before,
the cats are there
Oh, really?
in the place, so they're going to be walking around doing their thing while we're doing comedy.
Meow.
And they're all adoptable.
Oh, there you go.
That's kind of cool too.
Oh.
So
Oh,
if you
boy.
like
You-
one,
you-
you
I'm
bring
going to bring
it
home
home.
about 12 of them then.
Yeah, you're definitely
Forgot
about.
You could be that crazy cat guy. You'd be like, I'll take them all. And
need to at this
Get 'em
point.
in the
Not
car.
a cat lady.
What?
Another special event coming up. Next week is the final show. The week after that, I'm going to have like a fan sponsor appreciation party at the Irish Pub.
Oh, okay.
So the details with that are going to work out with Sean on Sunday,
Okay.
which I'll get into what's going on at his bar on Sunday. But yeah, just wanted to get those out. Also, that following Wednesday, whatever the first Wednesday in November is, I think it's the 6th or something like that, there's going to be an Aragona's comedy special at the Irish Pub, which I'll
Okay.
be performing at as well. Because that's what I do when I take a break. I do like 4 or 5 shows in that month.
You
I'm
become
sure-
more busy when you
Yes.
take a break.
Are all the links on Strong Island, I assume?
All the links are on my Facebook page. If V is listening, if she could post them in the comment section for all the events,
yeah,
it would be a big favor for me because I'm just trying to get through everything here. And of course,
we're
I closed
working.
out my other thing because I want to get into the sponsors, but I just want to pull up.
What was that?
De Niro.
Okay. But yeah, we are honored to be here.
Yes, thank you.
While you get everything
So
ready.
we're going to pay some bills and then just get in.
That's what I
All
figured.
right?
That was
So as far as the sponsorship, we're going to start with Frank Zambuto and Kayla Logistics.
nice.
Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. Our goal is to provide our customers with end-to-end logistics solutions worldwide. Contact Frank Zambuto regarding all of your international import and export needs. Frank also has domestic contracts with many of the largest coast-to-coast trucking companies in the USA for non-personal cargo. For the Newman Show listeners, just mention the Newman Show, and Frank will take 10% off your first domestic trucking shipment in the USA. Frank's Imputo and K Logistics, where your business is our priority.
Sweet.
And you can reach Frank direct at 347-536-3933 or email at frank@klogistics.com. Frank is one of the best in his field.
I am.
He's on top of what's going on with everything, including the tariffs that everybody's confused about in
It's
China.
changing all over the place.
He literally...
It's changing every day.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
He's on the phone with China almost every day.
China.
So he knows exactly what's going on. I believe Trump may even
Maybe.
call him once in a while.
I love
and film
China.
it.
They're huge. Huge country. Very good.
Literally.
Great dumplings.
So I want to thank Jason Martin from Felon for Life Motorcycle Repair. Even though he specializes in Harleys, he does work on any type of bike. So if you have a Honda, you have a Ducati, whatever you got,
Okay.
he could fix it or do some aftermarket
Yeah.
accessories or whatever on there. You could reach him at 516-996-2780 or skullfan33@aol.com. Now, what makes him great at what he does is not only is he going to save you a lot over going to a dealership or something like that because he works out of his house,
Oh, that's good.
he also specializes in getting vets back on the road.
See, that I
'Cause
like.
A lot of combat vets, especially, they have a hard time adapting back to civilian life, and their only real escape is using, motorcycle, what they call, air therapy.
Oh,
therapy.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
So he's working on this guy right now. He's trying to get his bike on the road at no cost to the vet.
See, that's
So
awesome.
it's hard to do that without donations.
Well,
So
that's
again,
true.
if you could donate, give him a call. He'll tell you what to do. He'll take gift cards, cash if you want to drop off parts that he needs. But reach
Oh.
out to Jay. Definitely hook up with him. Look up Felon for Life. Like their Facebook page as well. And if V's doing the whole thing, maybe she could post his thing.
Come on, V.
Yeah, get on it, V. Let's move it. Yeah.
Talking big game all the way over here.
But yeah, Jay's a great guy. He'll also teach you how to work on your own bike if that's what
cool.
you're into.
Yeah.
And that's going to save you even more money
Yeah,
because
no
you're
problem.
doing the work. So now I want to move on to the Irish Pub,
The old Irish.
and that's in Baldwin. It's on Merrick Road, and Sean is the owner over there. He's a great guy. He's always got stuff going on. It will be a cornhole tournament, I'm almost positive, this Sunday. If you guys never played cornhole, you guys should come down. It's a lot of fun.
I
don't think
played
I've
it at a block party once or twice.
I don't think I've ever played it sober.
Well, that's what's great is it's a bar, so you don't have to play it
Exactly.
sober. You
So I
can
still
go down
won't play
there
it
early, have a
sober.
few shots, and it's
Everything's
$20 a
better
man.
drunk.
And it depends on how many people show up, how they break it up,
Yeah.
and how they do the brackets. But the last time it was $180 to the winner.
Oh, not bad
It's
at all.
not too bad. Yeah.
No, not bad at all.
And there's always something going on there. Fridays is karaoke. It starts at 10. From 10 to 12, there's a $30 open bar for certain things. It's not everything.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the rack
You
liquor. and
won
certain beers.
$180, but you drank $210 worth of beer.
But you would have drank 210 anyway, so why
Exactly.
not? And he has football specials constantly. Well, the Yankees are out now, so there's no more
Oh, well.
baseball specials. But you got like 60-cent wings, all sorts of beer specials. There will be. That is Frank. That was Frank. I know you can't see us right now. DePearl. But
Consummate professionals
My,
that we are. Continue.
my feed stopped, so
Continue,
I went
Dennis.
to refresh it.
November 2nd, they're doing a Halloween costume contest at 9 p.m. Prizes will be a basket full of cheer, also known as booze, a $50 gift certificate, and other prizes. The contest will be decided at 12:30 by the audience, so make sure you get there and check
Okay.
that out. Unfortunately, that's the night of my shabby tabby thing, but I might have to rush down there afterwards and
You can pull double
check
duty.
out what's going on.
That's all. We'll get a police escort for you.
Yeah.
Or by that,
I'll
we'll
just speed.
Yeah, do that too. Excuse me.
But
coming
yeah,
through.
and he's always looking for people for his dart team on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of the season now, but it's just a fun time. It's great bar food over there, and
You had me at bar food.
actually, it's a step above because he comes up with some good concoctions too that are above bar food.
Oh, even better.
That's
Also
good.
is
You've had
great.
me at above bar
And
food.
again, seriously, if you guys aren't doing anything Sunday, why don't you meet us down there?
I was
Even if you don't want to play cornhole, just hang out.
Totally. We'll see. We
That works.
We will see what we got going
Well,
on.
he,
In all
he doesn't
honesty, I
have
do
he
wanna-
doesn't have kids. I do, so I have to always check the family schedule
It's
first.
Sunday.
So in other words, I'm always
That's what the
free.
life's for.
There you go.
True. I'm not going to tell you
It's
said
just
that,
what I've
but
heard.
Blame it on football.
yeah, it's
the
more.
games will be
it's
on
more
there,
in hockey
too.
in my house.
Yeah, I was
so
going to say, she'll know if you blame it on football.
she know I'm lying.
And again, I just want to give honorable mention to Fred Watkins, who helped me with my my logo there. It's
a great logo.
Graphic. He's a graphic artist and designer, as well as a firearms instructor. So you want to look up Voodoo Hound Graphic
Make sure I
Art and
pay him.
Design. He's got a Facebook page as well. Watkins Graphic Art Design. So check him out. Check all my sponsors out. They've been very helpful in keeping this show going. Because without them, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do this.
No, it's trust me when we tell you, it's hard to do it on your own sometimes.
All right, V's on top of things now.
Yep, she got the
She
link
just
in there.
posted the link for it. The tickets for the comedy show this Sunday, and please believe me when I tell you, it's not a huge theater. It will sell out with all the people there. If you want to check it out, you're going to see some of the great up-and-coming comedians that just graduated the class,
Yeah, that's
as
cool.
well as an experienced comedian like Paul Bond.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Because it's usually the up-and-comers, that's the future of the business.
yeah.
So
everybody,
why not?
Colin, Murphy, they all started somewhere.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
So now we're going to just talk about the trending topics of the
Why
world.
not?
Oh boy,
Let's talk about
a lot going
start-
on in this world.
There's a few things I want to discuss, but we'll start with something I just saw today that they're gaining some steam. They want to disarm the police in New York.
it. I just saw that.
I-
I saw that earlier tonight.
Trying to say it without.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's try and stay down the
I
middle.
wish this was like a Babylon Bee or fake news. It's not. It's real.
Yeah,
They want to.
it's really sad and pathetic what's happening. I saw that article. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to read it, but I saw it and I was like, I thought it was fake.
Right.
But
It was like
I think it's
crack
the
of
worst
Babylon Bee.
worst idea that could possibly
Yeah.
happen, because that's just, you're just going to give more pardon the pun, ammo to the criminals.
Yeah. On top of the criminal justice reform. Now you're going to disarm civilians.
Right.
And then the police.
Yeah, it's-
Well, they give,
I
hey,
mean,
you,
it's
come
gonna
on,
be-
guys, stop.
It's going to turn into London. I think in London they don't carry any firearms.
Yeah.
No.
So
Get him?
almost.
Oh, Daniel's on.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
The
was.
excuse they're using is that so many people are getting killed unnecessarily by the police, and the FBI statistics just don't back that up. If you look at all the people killed by guns, it doesn't back up anywhere near what they say.
We live in a knee-jerk society
go.
at this point. And am I next? It's my turn. I'm up next. It's a knee-jerk.
I swear to you, there is a fly. We're not all insane.
I think it's a gnat that's driving me nuts.
Yeah, so everyone, it's weird because you see and horrific crimes that are involving guns, like Vegas and some of the shooters, just all across the country. But it's almost like depending on the situation is how people will react.
Right.
Chicago seems to be getting lit up daily, and no one seems to care about it.
That was his chance. He blew it.
I got
Oh,
him.
we got it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
It's. I feel like the
That's
sign.
what the media conveniently leaves out.
That's
You
what I was
mentioned
gonna say.
Chicago. They conveniently leave out the 1,700 people that have been shot
Yeah,
so far
And
this year.
apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, Chicago has like the strictest
Yes.
gun laws.
Yes.
It makes no sense.
It's some of the strictest laws. Usually, this is where this stuff happens.
Well, it proves that with all these strict laws, you're taking the guns away from.
Surprise, guys.
Oh my God!
For being the most invited guest. Thank you. I decided to get some food for us.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Oh, I hope it's Hawaiian.
I really wish we didn't.
Take some plates and
All right. Thank you. This is completely a nice surprise and unnecessary.
And we honestly had no
I
idea.
don't even know what this
happening.
is.
What is this?
oh, we got garlic knife. Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah. No, whoa. Jeez.
I'm just gonna give
Oh,
a
did not
free
have to
plug
do
right
this.
now.
I got
All right.
some
This from-
buffalo mac and cheese if you want.
Right next door over here. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's Leonardos Pizza
drop it.
restaurant. It's right next door. Well, pretty much right next door to the studio. And I got the special guide just for Larry. Yes, it is Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, boy. I'm going to get
Oh,
a
So
you
dig
gotta
in.
be kidding me. Okay.
Larry, you could have a knot.
Am I going for? Look,
Go for it,
steam's
Dennis.
coming
No,
off.
you're the guest. You go first.
Is that the steam? Is that of the pineapple cooling
Oh,
or
it's
of
so-
the?
It's just because it's so hot.
You're going to eat it. You know you have to.
Man, look at this.
And that's awesome that they're doing the garlic nuts and stuff.
That's
Thanks a lot.
fantastic. Thank you very much.
Very good.
all right,
Very good.
I am going to let this cool a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little hot.
Little
so.
warm.
Yeah, I'll let it cool before
Usually
I
my
grab
pizza
it then.
takes about 25,
I was
30
going to
minutes
grab
to
your
get delivered.
cheese and help you out, but that's I don't
It's all
think
right.
you want to eat my...
No, I do want that pineapple that fell off.
Look at that.
But,
Oh, my
no,
God.
but getting back to the topic,
Well,
thank you.
before it gets away, because you mentioned Vegas too, I've been to Vegas a lot in my
Yes.
life.
Never been.
And there is nothing in Vegas you cannot do that's not on camera.
This is correct.
So where is the video of this guy bringing the shit into his room? Where's the video of him disconnecting the cameras in the hallway
There
and
is
blocking
no
the
video
doors?
anywhere.
It's like an
None.
Ocean's 11 type situation.
And there was some confusion over what the security guard was doing, because supposedly he saved everybody, but then he wasn't there. He was there. He saw
And there
him,
was
he didn't
also,
see him,
I mean,
which would be real easy to prove with the hallway cameras.
I'm a bit of a
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist myself. I just don't understand how people said that they saw shots from another window. Some said they saw it from another floor. And I just
Well,
don't
see,
understand.
the other window I could understand, because if you've ever been to a suite there, a corner suite, it's huge. It's like the whole
Correct,
corner of the
yeah.
building. So you
I
can
saw
shoot out of
Hangover.
this side, you can shoot out of that side. That could be confusion. But the different floors, I mean, maybe there's a 2-level suite, but
Possible.
I mean, they were like saying like there was a difference of I think like 30 floors or something. I could be wrong, 20 or 30 floors.
But this guy
something like
had no history
No.
of any mental illness or any crime. I think he
And
didn't
just
have any criminal record.
His wife disappeared.
Oh,
Left
that's
the
right, I
country
forgot
for a
about
little
that.
bit,
That's
came
right.
back.
Yeah.
The security guard who was going to tell all disappeared for a couple months and then came back.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't there some survivors who died
yes.
a couple of weeks or
there
months later?
was a girl who on camera said they were shooting at us. They were coming over the fence, and they said, there was only one shooter from the hotel. She goes, no, we saw him coming over the fence, and we went and they were shooting at us. And she wasn't like hysterical to
Right.
the point where she seemed crazy. And she died of natural causes, which is kind of hard when you're in your mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, but I hear what you're talking about. Don't
It's
get me
like,
wrong.
being on suicide watch in a jail cell and just, you know.
Well, all right, to that, he was no longer on suicide watch. He was off it for a little while.
I know.
But you have a civilian, 2 civilians or whatever watch him, and this guy's high profile. He supposedly tried to commit suicide already.
Right,
He's
and apparently,
the biggest criminal in the
Yes.
U.S., maybe number 2 next to El Chapo.
and the story's forgotten now.
And you fall asleep watching him?
And the bone that
You would
broke
want
in
to
his
know if
throat,
someone's going to be coming in at that
the
point.
bone that broke in his throat apparently is strictly from being strangled. I forgot the name of the.
Well, let's say he did kill himself.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's say he killed himself. They had no funeral for him, apparently. A multi-billionaire who there's no funeral for, who had a lot of friends. But and then, strangely enough, the investigation's over.
Well, I
Now remember,
yeah.
he was going to release his black book,
Yeah.
and he had all this info on like Hollywood, royalty from other countries, Washington, and they just stopped because again, he was making the deal. He wasn't the one they were after. They wanted to know everybody else who went there and was having sex with the children on the side of the children,
Yeah.
because that's what they were, children.
Let's point
Children.
that out specifically.
And now nobody cares because he died, so the crime's over. No.
Again,
doesn't
that's-
work that way.
It just disappeared though. I mean,
Yeah.
but 6 people died from vaping. So let's make legislation.
Yeah, let's stick on that until we can figure out now it's not Russian collusions, now it's Ukrainian collusion.
Right.
And just keep dangling the keys all over the place and focus on
Here's
stuff.
my the alternate universe. What I would love to know is if the media didn't focus so much on the knee-jerk reactions, like I mentioned, trying to bring down. Yeah, I'll get to the pizza in a moment. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get there. Still, yeah.
Oh, you
okay.
talking, we'll eat.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So, what would have the news been the last 3 years if it wasn't any of this? You know, what would they have focused on? It's almost like
You mean if Hillary would have won?
whether Hillary won or they weren't going after Trump so much, or there wasn't always these knee-jerk reactions. Like I remember years ago, and again, I'm not belittling what happened. Like when Columbine happened, it was terrible. But I don't remember then all of a sudden everyone getting in all these up in arms tremendously, short of Michael Moore making a dumb movie. You know, it's like that's what social media has brought to us, that we're all news anchors, and we all report, but it just...
Every asshole has an opinion, basically. That's
true.
what it comes down to. Everyone now has a voice where
Right.
we didn't. It would go as far as your kitchen table, or maybe your neighbors who were at your kitchen table. But now it's Twitter, Facebook, everything. It's people who you would never hear from now can voice an opinion, and all it takes is one hit that could send something viral, and it
Absolutely.
changes the whole course of, and especially now with the all the fake news sites and all the
Right.
fake, I can make a meme, and
What was
that's
it
truth.
that they said was in Syria, but it was really like the backyard of
Oh,
some
the
guy?
It was a shooting range.
it was a shooting range in like Kentucky or
It's
something,
almost
right?
as bad as when China was talking about like they were testing like their Air Force. It turned out to be a scene from Top Gun.
Yeah,
Or something
yeah.
like that.
So-
More importantly, I'm going to dive into this pizza right now. So here we go.
He hates this, by the way.
Tell you what, it's good. Good pie.
He hates it. He
trying
moaned
really hard.
He moaned and cried when we had it the
Yeah.
first time. But just to go back, what you said about obviously specifically New York City, the weaponizing the police.
Right.
I had an incident yesterday. As a matter of fact, I took my daughter into the city with my family to see a play for her 10th birthday. My wife had to use the bathroom. She didn't want to go to Penn Station, so we went to there was a
Blame her.
pizzeria.
I was going to ask you about this.
Okay, and normally I'm pretty hot-headed, but lately I'm trying to not be that way, especially in front of my children. And this psycho came out of the McDonald's, which was next door, and toothless, crackhead. I mean, is crack still a thing? I don't know. Whatever. Whatever he was, heroin, whatever. And
It's the needles that kill you.
starts. I had one kid, my son here and my daughter here, and I kind of had my arms around him, just waiting for my wife. And he goes, "Why do you have my children?" Like, I didn't understand at first what he was saying because he was like, obviously he was.
Right.
And I was like, I kind of just ignored him. He was like, "Hey, why do you have my children?" And then he's like, you got a cute little girl and boy. And I look up, I look right at him. I go, "Dude, back off." I just go, "Just back off." I go, you don't want to do this." I go, "Just walk away." So he walks away and then circles back. I'm watching him, and I can feel my kids trying to get inside the pockets of my hoodie. They're like trying to I'm like, "Relax, Daddy's got it taken care of." I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous because I don't know what this guy had or was capable of. And I'm
What he's on, is he really crazy?
Exactly.
You get the crazy
exactly,
strain?
right? So he comes back, and now he comes at me again. He's like probably at the end of the table, and he's just like,
Yeah, it's close.
like an old-timey boxer. He's like this, but he's more like he's like this, like doing this to me. He's like, because he's kind of covering his face, and he's like,
me
"This is why you have my children." So I go, "Dude, I'm gonna say this again. Just walk away. Just walk away." I go, "This is not gonna end well for either of us." And my heart was thumping. He turns around. I kind of just pushed my kids into the lobby of McDonald's, right? Which, by the way, next to Penn Station, has a security guard. Didn't know that. McDonald's has a security guard.
You needed that.
And
It's going to get worse.
and then my wife is literally, she comes, she says, "What's going on?" I go, and my daughter, "There was a scary man. He wanted us to be his children." I'm like, she's like, "What?" So I tell her what happens. The guy walks away, and then we just kind of went the other way. But my kids were frightened. This is my daughter's 10th birthday. My kids were frightened, and I'm like, I mentally prepared myself. If this guy touches my kid, I'm spending the night in central booking. I'm okay with. I'm okay if I have to get arrested. And I spoke to my friend who's a cop, and he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "If you would have hit him, if he didn't touch you, you would have. Because you probably would have got a good cop, but
You know what? That's not fully true. And you might have got arrested or whatever else, but as far as actually criminally charged,
No, I know that.
self-defense doesn't mean the person has to hit you first. Mm-hmm. If you feel threatened, justifiably, like if a guy was walking over there and you just didn't like the way he looked and I felt threatened, so I beat him up,
Right.
you're not getting away with that. But once a guy comes,
Yeah.
once a guy comes and raises his hands and says, "You got my kids," and he's approaching you,
that's menacing.
that's fair game.
Right. That's what I
fair
thought.
game.
So-
Within reason.
Within reason, right?
You hit him, he goes down, and you jump on top and pummel him,
Right,
yeah, you're in trouble. You hit him, he goes
Throw him on
down
the
or
tracks,
walks
kick him
away.
over.
kick him in the face.
You know,
it was on the street. It wasn't on the train.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. So, but it was
trying.
But yeah. So it was a little nerve-wracking, of course. And then we get back on the train at the end of the night, and there was another lunatic there singing, but like not entertaining. He was just being annoying, singing in people's faces.
Yeah.
And I'm going to my wife, who, God bless her, grew up in Levittown. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm a little more street savvy. And I'm like, "Next car." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Next car." And she's like, "What?" Ding, ding, door shut. Now I'm in the car with this guy. And she's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh." So, But again, the good thing was both my kids are like, "Yeah, I don't want to go into the city anymore." I'm like, "Good, no problem." I'm like, "Give this daddy."
You know what the worst part about the whole thing is? When you bite into the slice and you get that squirt from the
That's what she
from
said.
from the pineapple, It throws off the entire thing. I can deal with the ham.
It's sweet and salty. The ham.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
good
the
combination.
savory. I love it.
juiciness. I don't want a juicy slice. I mean, I appreciate the offer. Well, we appreciate the offer. Don't get me wrong.
He enjoys it.
But, well, of course he
This is
does.
you.
I'm taking a slice home for lunch tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
I'm just gonna take some of that off. Do you want some of my pineapple?
Not after it's been on your mouth and in your hands.
Oh,
no.
where have I been?
I know where you haven't been. But anyway,
Just to backtrack a little bit, Jim Fusco was smart. He said the Rangers suck, Frank.
yeah, well,
Jim's
they
a
do.
genius.
So they're rebuilding.
V, I'll try to save you a slice.
I'm over that.
Jeff said we just made it worse by showing pineapple sliced pizzas. And he also said either way, not a good situation. Now,
Haters gonna hate.
this is now. Come
Now,
January
now.
1st,
Oh.
when criminal justice reform kicks in,
Well,
which is more than just bail reform.
that's only if the Democrats.
No,
win.
it's done.
It's signed.
It's been approved. It's been signed because it went through with the budget. January 1st is the start.
Oh,
date.
no, that's time to move off Long Island.
All of New York. This is New
Well,
York
that's in the plans.
plan. So now what's going to happen is basically what any misdemeanor, or what they consider a nonviolent felony will just be given a desk appearance ticket.
Which they're never gonna show up for anyway.
Right. So some of the things that are considered nonviolent, unless they changed it, but last I heard they hadn't, rape in the third degree, arson.
That's nonviolent.
That's nonviolent.
You would think rape would just
Robbing a house, carjacking, as long as it's just not forceful, in their opinion. Assault of a firefighter, EMT, or cop, any first responder, basically, nonviolent. Assault.
Who put this in? Who put this on the books?
I think it was pretty much Cuomo, but all the Dems signed it.
Oh.
Resisting arrest, nonviolent.
I don't get this.
So
at
so
all.
let's say the example, and if you don't believe that the DA of Long Island just got up and did a thing, he gave an example. I don't know the exact example, but basically, let's say someone goes in your house and robs it,
Okay.
burglarizes it. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter whether you're home or not. Your house is getting robbed. Your neighbor sees or hears something and calls 911. The cops come, catch him, hand him a ticket, and go on their way.
And he's allowed to take all your items that he stole.
Just dragging a bag with
Well,
you.
I guess if he's willingly ready to give it back, but if
Yeah.
he's going to fight the cop for it, maybe they let him take it and sort it out in court. I don't know how that's
Well,
going
you
to
get
work.
two tickets out of that one.
insane.
Now, the DA's on the clock. Even if it's a violent felony, even if it's rape or whatever else, he's on the clock now. He's got like 5 days or something to make this case. It's something ridiculous. I don't know the exact, so don't quote me on this part, but it's easy enough to look up under criminal justice in New York. If they don't make this case, basically it's going to go away. So they have to make this case. Now let's say it goes to court. Remember my cousin Vinny? Because this is the example they used.
Yeah.
Remember when he went to the guy's house? Oh, what's that? A screen? What's that? You know,
Dirt.
all those bushes. When he went there and took the pictures, that's what if they say, okay, we robbed this house, you're saying we took all this stuff, the attorney could get their number and call and say we want to come to the house. If they don't answer, they'll give them the address, and they have the right to go to the scene of the crime and check all the stuff out. Not take pictures, like you get pictures or do
This
a
is
diagram.
absurd.
This is the actual criminal and/or his attorney coming to your house.
So the victim basically has zero rights and zero
Right.
protection.
Now, the witness also, they could go, well, how do you know if we saw it? We want to go, where did you say you saw it? Because we want to go
So
check
they can
from that
intimidate
angle.
the witness.
So if you saw someone breaking in, and you know your house is going to be open for the
Correct.
criminal and his attorney, you're going to say, open your mouth?
No, but I can tell you what this will lead to: vigilantism.
Yeah.
Ooh, Batman.
Well, we kind of joked about it at first until we saw it getting worse and worse and worse. I think the purge is coming. You're going to see.
absolutely.
You're going to see
It's
it.
either a purge or a civil war or an alien battle or something. I don't know what it is.
I think more lines of. I honestly would welcome the purge.
Interterrestrial.
But
Do you think it's just something because in a weird way, like down the road to keep for a voting situation for the Democrats to say all these maniacs
right.
well, we're allowed to do this, so let's vote so and so in.
that's part of it. But I was really never a conspiracy theorist until Sandy Hook.
Okay.
And the reason why is I watched it like everybody else did on the news, and I watched the overhead. I watched from the sheriff and the FBI, and everybody was giving their statements. And several times they talked about the weapons used. First time they said 2 handguns. Then as it went on, it was 4 handguns.
By one person.
By one person, because they said when the first 2 ran out of
Oh,
ammo,
okay.
we left them where they was. That's why the initial report, because he had 2 on.
Gotcha.
When they found the body, but then going through the school, they found the other 2.
Okay.
In the overhead, you saw the police open up the trunk. And remember, when the kid went to school, he never came back out. Saw him open up and take a couple of rifles out of the trunk. Honestly, neither one looked like an AR-15, but let's say it was. Let's just say it was. The AR-15 was never in the school, which means nobody was killed by an AR-15 in the Sandy Hook shooting.
Okay.
Not one person. Maybe his mother at home, but I think he killed her first and then took the weapons.
I forgot he killed his mother.
So now, how do you start a whole thing? How do you sue Bushmaster and win and start the whole New York SAFE Act, even though it didn't happen in New York, to go after a rifle that was never used in the crime? Now, I could understand you're not a gun guy, you don't know guns maybe, but there's no way a law enforcement professional is not going to know the difference between a handgun and an
And a
AR-15
rifle.
rifle.
And
And
Right.
that's the
Nobody.
thing. When these things happen, everyone all of a sudden becomes an expert. Out of nowhere, people who never even majored in criminal justice all of a sudden now know the ins and outs of the law,
Correct.
the ins and
Right.
outs of what, and that's why I forgot who it was, but I think there was a politician. I don't know if it was after that or one of the other
Sadly, after
shootings, but was like she was talking about guns and like a 30-round gun and it weighs
I was gonna bring that up.
40 pounds.
A 30
and, like,
round.
that was recent.
Oh, that was recently.
Oh, was
but,
it?
That was-
but the
okay.
first guy was talking about a 30-round magazine clip that could shoot off 30 caliber rounds in 3 seconds.
That's what it was.
No, no,
yeah.
the-
well,
but
still,
But that was that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
and
that's nowhere near
But that's
accurate.
like someone went online and the video goes, here's the truth. Not just someone going, I don't believe what you stand for, so I'm just going to disagree with you. The guy broke it down literally as to how this gun works and how you are wrong.
And there's no such thing as a magazine clip anyway.
No.
the recent one you're talking about, she said that the AR-15 held 50 caliber bullets.
Yes.
That's what she.
And it weighs like whatever, 5
Yeah,
moving
5
boxes
moving
or whatever.
boxes. First of all, moving boxes? I mean,
maybe
full
empty.
or empty? I mean,
Maybe
what are we
empty.
talking
Now,
about?
now the irony is the AR-15 shoots either a 223 or a 5.56 round. They're called NATO rounds. The reason why NATO used them is because they were less lethal. So you had a chance of taking the POW instead
Yeah.
of just killing everybody.
Right.
Less lethal. So you want to ban something that's less lethal than the shotgun everyone's telling you to get, which could blow a hole this size in someone's
Oh,
chest.
yeah, absolutely. Which I find funny. I did find that funny when I moved out to Long Island. Like a shotgun. You
Or
were
a hole
able to
this
buy.
size, depending on what
Yes,
load you
you
use.
can buy.
You were able to buy a shotgun without a license, but you were able to buy other guns. I just found that funny when I moved out to Long
Right.
Island.
So,
But-
so these lawmakers have no understanding
No,
how it works.
none
And
whatsoever.
even when CNN showed about the bump stocks,
Right, yeah.
they weren't even showing a bump stock. They were showing a
yeah.
collapsible stock. Now, the only thing a collapsible stock does is, this is too close to me, let me expand it and shoot out here.
Yeah.
That's all it does. There's no functionality in it.
Well, because-
but you can't have that as a civilian now.
The reason
You have, whatever way the rifle comes,
Yeah.
you have to stick that way.
the reason why
it's still gonna shoot
the
no matter what.
reason why these they can get away with this, these reporters, journalists, is because the average person, non-gun owner, does not know. So they're just going to believe it for
Right.
face value. And
Your mom's checking in. She said 223 and 5.56, same thing. I believe the 5.56
I think that's
has a
my
stronger.
dad
probably
checking in.
his father.
Okay.
No, it's under my mother. But
All right, correct me if
He's
I'm wrong.
wrong.
I think the 5.56 is a stronger load. The bullet size is the same. The
we're going to find out in a
casing
moment,
is the same, but I think it's a stronger load, so it shoots a little further and more accurate for a distance.
Yeah.
Right,
But
probably.
functionality is really
I
not
absolutely
gonna,
don't believe anything the media tells me.
and you can't.
I've been doing a lot of research, but then again, online when I hear something on TV or whatever, or I read something, I try to do the research on it, but I can't even trust half of the research sites
Right.
that you go because you don't know who's backing this person politically and what's everyone has an agenda.
I
So-
missed when the news reported the news.
And that was it. No,
And then
no
at the
facts.
end, there was the
I mean, no
editorial.
one-
Well, the editorial
opinions, I
at the
mean.
end
Right.
was, and it would say this is not necessarily the views of the station or whatever, and it was that guy's spin on it.
Exactly. It's.
So you're right, it was Dad.
Yeah, yeah,
Good call.
yeah.
I was impressed. Like, your mom knows some shit.
Well, I mean,
Nice.
living with him for a
He
long
knows some
time,
gun
it
stuff.
starts to thing. But I'm sure we'll get some.
But you're right.
stats
Like,
here in a
how do
moment.
you know what's true and what's not true?
You don't,
at
unfortunately.
this point, I'm believing the
the
Onion.
false outrage. Right now, they want to impeach Trump because they say he colluded and bullied Ukraine to affect the 2016 election because he asked what Biden actually did.
Yeah, that.
And admitted to.
And there's video of Biden actually doing it. So but no one's mentioning anything. No one. If this was Eric Trump doing what Hunter Biden did,
And you know who said that?
there would be anarchy
Do you know
right
who
now.
said that? Which really shocked me, which goes to show you how far the left is out of hand. Bill Maher.
Oh yeah,
wow.
I
Bill
do
Maher
believe
said
it. Yeah,
that.
I agree. I knew it was somebody. I couldn't know if it was him or Kimmel. Was one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you know Bill Maher is no fan of
he's-
Trump.
he's not a fan of Trump
Any
at
of the
all,
Trumps.
so-
No.
And he said they're
I did
going
love
too
him in
far.
DC
He goes,
Cab, though.
He goes because he said the same thing. He goes, if this was Eric Trump, they'd have him hung
Absolutely,
already.
absolutely. They would have him hung, drawn, and quartered. But no word from
Okay, yeah,
no
it's
word,
high
no word from
velocity.
Hunter Biden. No interviews for him yet.
Right.
And isn't it just funny how is it everyone's son works for this Ukrainian company?
Yeah.
I mean,
What
was
a
it
shock.
Pelosi's?
Pelosi had something.
Pelosi,
there was a lot of
Romney,
connections.
Biden, and there was a fourth person
Yeah.
whose son or nephew worked for them. But I
Curly
mean,
Joe.
possibly.
Okay.
Curly Sue.
Good movie.
Underrated.
Okay. But with all this, fake news, fake media,
Fake news.
news. I have also now. This could be the fact that I have slowly whittled away a lot of the Twitter feeds and Twitter handles that really go way over the top. A lot of my friends, obviously not all my friends are going to agree with me politically, but I do have a lot of friends who don't side with me politically, but at least we can have a normal conversation about it. Where there's other people. I remember way back in the day, it was when I was in college, and we were talking about something, and something to do with 9/11, and if Bush had something to do with it or something. And the person kept quoting, "Well, I read Fahrenheit. Oh, I saw Fahrenheit 9/11." I'm like, our conversation is done because if you're quoting Michael Moore, there is you have no weight in this.
He looks like an old lesbian.
Hunter Biden did an interview with ABC. I didn't.
I
even
did not.
know.
I didn't
recently.
see that.
If it was Eric Trump, though, it would be everywhere.
But that's what I was kind of getting at. I don't know if it's maybe me kind of weeding out a lot of the Twitter handles or whatever. But I'm starting.
I
to
gave up
kinda
on Twitter.
See slowly. I think people are starting to realize what's happening.
People are
And
waking up.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
that
the pendulum is
Republicans.
starting to swing the other way, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not saying Republicans are right and Democrats are wrong, but we can have a healthy mix of the two. But I think people are starting to realize what is the fake news, the outright going the lynching almost of these political people in office, whether it's Trump or somebody else.
But it's only a
That's
certain
nuts.
group getting in trouble for something
Yeah.
that everybody's doing. And
That's true.
this is where I stand. Even when I first registered to vote, I registered as an independent.
Me too.
And this is coming up being young and loving Reagan like everybody seemed to
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
Love those jelly beans.
Yeah. Now, I just felt that neither political party spoke for me.
Okay.
Because I like some things on the right, I like some things on the left, and there was no middle ground
I think I voted
that was
independent my first
really,
I voted
really
independent,
strong.
yeah.
I know there's libertarians and there's people that run on whatever, but nobody's really
Libyans.
strong enough to really make a run
Yeah.
to win a big major election. But sometimes they vote left, sometimes they vote right, and I'll tell you, over the last few years, maybe 10, I don't know about 10, but close to it, it seems if I disagree with a Democrat, they just attack me.
You're racist.
I'm
You're
a racist,
you're
I'm a
sexist.
misogynist, I'm a xenophobe. Even if the word means nothing, they'll throw it at me for something. I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I don't know anything, I should just do this, whatever. If I disagree with a Republican, they would debate me back and forth,
Yep.
and
Right.
then say, we'll just agree to disagree.
Right, let's go have a beer.
Now, I find that kind of odd because, a lot of people are against gay marriage. I think they should have the right to get married, and I think it's a civil rights issue.
Right.
And they're like, no, they shouldn't. It's against the Bible. I'm like, okay, then they don't have to get married in the church.
Yeah.
But they do have a right to get married. Because
Absolutely.
how are you going to marry a 90-year-old and an 18-year-old and say that's for love and to procreate like you're supposed to according to the church? So enough is enough. Everybody has rights. Leave everybody alone. They don't attack me. They don't call me any names. I was never called a fag or an idiot or
Yeah.
anything from any of them. So why is one side that's supposed to be intolerant to me, and the other side is supposed to be loving of everybody always constantly attack me?
That's the big hypocrisy.
Exactly. I think the biggest example right now is, during the 8 years of
Chair keeps moving.
during
Slide.
the 8 years of Obama.
Gotta eat more pizza and egg yourself.
What-
down.
I eat enough today.
During the 8 years of Obama, like, okay, fine. I know a lot of my friends were Republican, even myself. I wasn't crazy about Obama, but I wasn't going out there looking for ways to get him out. All right, the birth certificate's one thing. But
the funny thing is, first time around, I voted for him.
Okay, there you go.
Second time around, no.
That's fair
A
enough.
lot of people did.
Yeah.
A lot of people voted for him the first time, second time, no.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is that, like, I won't say we, but like Republicans, they weren't out trying to get him out.
Right.
They weren't.
It wasn't an everyday assault.
Hey, look, I'm not saying everyone. You got some really terrible people out there who are saying some really terrible things about Obama.
Well, a lot of that was
That's
Westboro
separate.
Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Of
Yes.
the examples
But
who
I'm just-
hate everybody.
Exactly.
But for the most part, and I would say a good majority, there was not this everyday onslaught
No.
and assault of impeach,
Still
impeach,
my
Trump,
president. I never
Trump.
thought not my
They
president.
went after him for the way he held his water bottle because he did something like this. Like, oh my God, I can't even drink water.
Yeah.
Like,
This.
come on.
Can we talk about how
Yeah,
this
I did want to
is
bring
now-
that up too.
is now a
It's now the white power.
to me, it was
symbol.
A-okay. I mean, it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with
And you want to hear the funny thing about that? That started as a joke on a joke website.
Did it?
Some grabbed it and ran.
well, here's the
Area
thing.
51.
Yeah,
There you go. Enough
well,
said.
no.
Area
Here's the thing.
51.
It's like there's I'm like, again, I kind of go down the middle. All right, I don't really like talking politics, but I'm pretty much down the middle.
told you what we
I'm
were
conservative. I think I consider myself conservative, but again, I'm all for gay marriage. I have no problem with that. You be happy. I know gay people in my family, but close to my family. Black, white, I don't care.
Right.
Because as history shows, for instance, interracial. Okay. Think about where it was in 1950 to where it is now. You got to be on the right side of history
Right.
on certain things.
Yeah.
So when a perfect example with the progressive movement. Now, some progressive movements are good, but the problem is it doesn't stop. For example, smoking in restaurants. Okay, back in the day when that first happened, like there's a smoking section and a non-smoking section.
Right.
You want
know what?
non-smoking? That's
okay,
outside.
and the smokers were like, okay, we'll go to the smoking section.
Right.
You know what? That's not good enough. Now you can only smoke at the bar. Okay.
Well, no. Remember, when they had the smoking section,
Right.
it had to be
cordoned off.
cordoned off, and it had to have a filtration system, which cost them tens of thousands
Correct.
of dollars.
But wait, listen. Let me finish the point. So then it went from smoking section to now only smoking at the bar. Okay. So the smokers were like, fine, we'll go smoke at the bar. Down the line a little bit. Now you can't smoke at the bar. You got to smoke outside. Okay, fine. We'll go smoke outside. You see what the trend
Yeah.
here? Now, don't smoke in front of the building. Go down the
30
block,
feet,
but
yeah.
you can't smoke in the park. That's not allowed. So when does it end?
But when you say 30
And
feet
it
from a
restarts
door,
with vape.
where are you not 30 feet from a door in
Exactly,
the city?
but when does it end?
It
That's
doesn't.
the point. And I'm just using that smoking as an example. I don't care less where you smoke.
About smoking
because
in the boys' room.
that too.
Well, the same thing with the guns. Oh, we're not after your guns, but we want all your guns.
right.
Yeah.
Because
And
now,
what was
they're
it?
after semi-automatic, all semi-automatic, which is most of the guns. And the red flag laws, if you don't realize what they're going to do with the red flag laws, if someone hears your story and they're like, wow, Frank's angry, they could red flag you. And
Yep.
immediately they come
Yeah.
take everything you
Which
got.
With the whole,
which we might have to stop
what is it?
recording,
Which is
because-
unconstitutional.
It is.
It really is.
Well, it's what's not anarchy? It's no, it's like it's Big Brother basically.
It's worse.
Yeah.
It's really worse at this point. Now, the funny thing is, for the first time in my life, and it was almost a year ago, I actually did switch from independent to Republican. And the reason why I did that is because I want to have a vote in the primaries of some of these things. Because now, thanks to the Democrats, I am a Republican.
Right.
I still don't fully agree with them, but there's no other party strong enough. I wish the Libertarians or one of the other
see,
parties were strong enough
I'm
to
still
fight them,
I'm still
but they're not.
independent. I'm still independent, but I just can't see myself voting Democrat anymore. And I'm a union
guns
guy.
and the
I'm a
bail
union guy.
reform and just all that really just it pushed me over the edge.
I'm the last. I'm like a dying breed in where I work at my job. I hear people over talk, and I'm just like, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut, because I know I'm going to get in an argument with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I said
Look
to
at all
somebody,
the constitutional rights they're violating.
It's-
Trump won.
Yeah.
I don't care how you want. I don't care, popular vote doesn't matter. Trump won by the rules set forth by
And there's a
our
reason
country.
for
well,
that.
now we got to change. No more electoral.
So they want to get rid of that, and they
Nope,
and
can't have it.
before
'Cause
he
why? 'Cause
even
some
stepped
old-
into the White House, they were talking about we're going to revolt, we're going to impeach, we're going to do this, we're going to do
Yeah.
that. They've been working on it ever since he was elected. For any reason, they've been trying to impeach. Now they did it off this supposed whistleblower before the report even came out. So
Yeah.
they already knew they were
But they
doing
also
it.
kind of did they do that? Didn't
But what are
wasn't
they
it-
telling you? You don't have a free election in this country.
Oh no, it's basically if
Because
that's
he
the
won
case.
fair and square, and all they're trying to do is push him out and get their person in. Because if he gets
Sore
impeached,
loser.
Pence is president,
Yeah.
and they're already saying that they're lining stuff against him to get Pelosi in. So where's the true agenda? Now, what have they done? What have the Democrats done since Trump has been elected to better this country?
They've
Better
done
this
nothing.
country. That's the
Nothing.
thing. And I hope those watching, don't think that we're just, bashing the Democrats, because I'm not
We
saying,
are.
well, Frank is, and you can address that to him directly.
But I'm really
but
not.
what I'm saying
It's the vocal ones, because I
That's
know
what it
as a fact
That's what it is.
not all
'Cause
Democrats
there's-
believe that.
Exactly. And look, that's why there's the two-party system. But you're right. It's the loud and it's usually the Democrats who've been in there. I'm not a fan of like a career politician.
Yeah.
That's what really got me to like Trump as president, because even before we had the two that we were going to vote for, which let's face facts, it was a wacky election.
Yeah.
I was like, this country needs to be, like, for 4 years, even if it was just for 4 years, we need to be run like a business, kind of reset ourselves.
Right.
I was just going to say, Trump was a reset button. Because
Which is fine, I accept that.
Because, and I always say, I said to my,
before...
I said when he won in 2016, I said to my wife, I go, this isn't the election we need to worry about. I go, the election we need to worry about is 2020 or 2024. I said, because this is going to open up the floodgates for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to run. As you could see with all the Democrats running, this guy, Beto O'Douche, whatever his name is, who's Irish. He's not Spanish. Let's get that.
Yeah.
But give myself a Spanish
And that's it too. Why you can't just be anything you want.
But did
you
you hear
can't
what he
just
said
say
about the guns? You hear what he said about the guns? His quote. He said something to the effect of, "If people don't hand over their guns voluntarily, we're gonna come get them." Try it.
Yeah.
Texas was like,
and that's
try
what's
it.
going to start a real
Civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like one of the comments here, Angela wrote, I agree with gay marriage. They should be just as miserable as straight people are when they are married. I agree with that.
Good point. But you can't say you're black if you're not black. You can't say you're Indian if you're not Indian. You can't say you're Spanish if you're not Spanish. I don't care what you identify as.
You can't even open up a taco truck if you're not Mexican, because that's racial appropriation. There was those two women who had.
But then how Beto O'Rourke and
the
Elizabeth
great
Warren
hypocrisy
and all these
the
people
great hypocrisy.
So the leader of the NAACP who claimed she was black wasn't black.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
I
What does it
identify as
take?
black. All right, I identify as a millionaire.
And everyone's like, oh, well, no, that's fine. No, it's not fine, because think of the real black person she stole that job from. Think of the real Indian that lost their college education and all the other benefits she got because of her. All the Spanish people that lost whatever they lost because of Beto O'Rourke. It's not a good thing.
Again, like I said, with the progressive movement, it never stops. Like I said,
Yeah.
because now again, you go to two women who had a successful taco truck business, but they're forced out of business because they're not
They should
Mexican.
have just said they were.
Let me
Exactly. I identify as
You can't just be
Mexican.
whatever
There
you
you go.
want.
If I may play a little bit of devil's advocate, not much.
Dun,
Not
dun,
much. What are your thoughts then so Donald Trump, who's not a politician at all, fine, wins the election, he's a businessman, he's running the country the way he is.
Right.
What are your thoughts about how free he is on Twitter with some of the remarks that he makes? Like, do you think that he's doing that because he
Control.
wants to give his control or his opinion on things, or do you think he's probably doing it to, as much as the Democrats are annoying him, he's like kind of sticking
I
it to
do
them?
have a theory on that, and it's multi-layered.
Okay.
First of all, if you look at how the elections went throughout history, if someone's relatable to you, they vote.
Correct.
You know, oh, George Bush won because he was the type of guy I want to have a beer with. Bill Clinton looked like a fun guy to hang out with. That's how people vote.
He was charismatic.
Trump
I liked
jumped
Bill
on
Clinton.
and said, you know what? Everybody's on social media right now putting these stupid things out there. That's how I'm going to get my word out. And it worked. It worked. Everyone was making fun of him.
Right.
And then also, oh shit, the guy won.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, the multifaceted thing, he doesn't get coverage for a lot of things that he does that are positive.
Oh, yeah.
If he just wrote, I did this, this, and this, nobody would read his Twitter account. But if he starts putting Rosie O'Donnell's a fat pig and Hillary should be in jail, now it was like, oh my God, I got to see what he's writing next. So now they're reading every single word he writes.
Correct.
So when he slips in, oh, by the way, I signed a deal with China. By the way, I signed a health insurance for autistic children.
That was
Oh, I think-
When he starts slipping these things in, and some people are seeing them and it's grabbing, some maybe it's subconsciously, but people are reading it. The news is getting
Correct.
out. And I think it's also to say, well, you guys are attacking me, so I'm going to needle it to you
It's
and
like
drive
also,
you crazy.
Do you remember when Howard Stern took over radio in New York, right?
Yeah.
It was that, and the line from the movie, I'm quoting from, he goes, a lot of people said, well, I can't stand
Exactly.
Howard Stern, but I tuned in. Why? Because I want to see what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
And look where he became. I mean, now he's a hack, but just saying.
But he's still making how much a year?
I know. I'll take.
he's still the king of
I would
radio.
take 10% and 10% of his paycheck and be happy
Yeah.
with it. But
And then people even attacking Melania. Melania, or
what I said.
or even
Now,
with
again,
Barron.
how do you attack Melania when she's everything that you stand for? She's an immigrant that came to this country, made herself great, was a model, came
Carries
from nothing,
herself
is very successful now.
amazingly.
And
Very
then they make fun
classy.
of how she talks?
Yeah.
You want to talk about xenophobic?
But and again, not on any cover of any magazine anywhere. I mean,
Michelle was everywhere.
Honestly.
Everywhere.
She was a good-looking
Where's
dude.
Melania? Yeah. For a dude, she is pretty hot.
She's pretty good looking. I'm not gonna lie.
But look at
I'll still
Ellen.
get their
even.
pop vinyl.
Ellen
sits
sits next to
Ellen
George Bush
that was a good. I like that.
and gets attacked for it.
Great comeback,
Now, this is the
though.
second time
That's what
she
I
got
meant, that's what I meant, the
attacked
comeback.
by her own community. The first time
Yeah.
was when she stuck up for Kevin Hart. And,
Right.
oh, you don't speak for us. When Kevin Hart really didn't do anything wrong. He was a
Right.
comic that made a joke. You don't like it, so what? Too
5
bad.
years early.
First of all, stand-up comedy as a stand-up, that should be like what's the word? Like a no-go zone. That should be anything goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to stand-up. If you're going to a stand-up comedy show to get offended, do yourself a favor. Don't
go.
leave your house.
Yeah.
Stay home because you're a miserable twat and no one wants to be with
So
you.
now Ellen...
I can curse here, right?
Yeah. Ellen, who again, who I don't agree with politically, who said Trump would never be on a show and all this stuff. When she sat next to George Bush, she said, just because I don't agree with him or his politics doesn't mean I can't.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm not a fan
Be a
of hers at all,
friend of
but I
his.
saw that and I was like, all right.
And
that's-
she's right.
Yeah.
And she goes, when I said be nice, I meant to everyone.
Yeah.
And her community turned on her and goes, no, it
Absolutely.
doesn't count because he thinks this, that, and the other thing. Well, you want all these people dead. See, the thing is, they call everybody racist and everybody Nazis. Who likes Nazis and racist? Nobody.
Nobody.
So when they're saying all Nazis should be punched in the face and killed, they want all of us killed
Yeah.
because we disagree with them.
And
It doesn't matter what the actual politics are. It's like, you disagree with us? Why do you go up and punch a 12-year-old in the face?
Well, what-
Why are you
Sometimes you
spraying
feel like it.
some 17-year-old girl
was
with
it
a red hat?
The
'cause you disagree with
Antifa
her?
guy, there was the old couple crossing the street.
Yeah.
And they're
won't let
blocking
them
them and
pass.
kicking their canes.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on here. I mean,
So you
what
get some,
happened
you
to
get some
society here?
16-year-old who lies about being at school, but then he had to ride his bike 2 miles to school during the shooting in Florida.
That douche. I hate
And
that
I don't
kid.
even want to mention his name, so please don't say it.
He's
And then you get some 16-year-old autistic girl, and you're not making fun of her, but all of a sudden she's this expert
yeah,
on
yeah.
global warming.
Right.
And you listen to every word she says, and you got to listen to her, and she's a genius. But then
you see
get
the
some
picture of her on the
16-year-old
yacht?
Kid.
You see the picture of her on the yacht?
No.
Oh yeah,
She's horrible without a script. By the
beautiful,
way.
beautiful, beautiful picture of her on
Yeah.
this giant yacht. Just
Because that's
I'm the
great for
queen
the
of the
economy. Great for
world.
the economy.
You know?
Economy. Ecology. That's great for the earth. But now you got this 16-year-old kid wearing a hat, Make America Great Again hat.
Oh, with the
on a
Indian-
Christian retreat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Minding his own business when you had the black Israelites out there threatening him, and India walking right into his face and beat a drum.
yeah.
All he did was smile. Oh, this kid's disrespectful.
Yeah. And was
Learn
it-
to respect
I want
your
his
elders.
address.
He should be punched
Yeah,
in the
let's
face.
get
He's
his
getting
address.
death threats, and that's okay. That's okay. But all these other, you can't make fun of them.
Well,
you can't make
little
fun
girl,
of
the
them.
mini, I was just saying, mini
Yeah.
AOC.
Mini AOC,
death
another
threats.
one.
Well,
Death threats. What'd she
9-year-old
do?
girl or whatever.
What did
was
she
she's
do?
making a parody account.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a show on.
Don't worry, she's not voting. She's 9.
There's a show on HBO or whatever, Showtime. It's My Comic President or something. It's like a cartoon. They ripped Trump and the Republicans a
Yeah.
new one. But that's parodies, okay. But a little mini AOC girl who's
Look
just
at the
making
accounts
jokes.
that have been banned on Facebook and Instagram.
I know. It's the shadow
ahead of
shadow
Yeah.
banning and stuff. like
And you know what? I'm not going to say that I've been shadow banned or whatever, but I've noticed since I started letting some of the stuff out, my viewership has dropped.
Yeah.
I've gotten more action, but less
Yeah,
viewership. So
yeah.
I don't know if maybe I'm being shadow banned too, but I got one more show. So, and unfortunately, we are out of time.
Damn it! We didn't even
another
get to
one.
the good stuff.
Yeah, like another pie.
But you
that
know
has
what?
Real toppings on it.
We can do this again next week if you want.
I think
I
I'm
got
free.
one more
Must be
show.
the last.
The finale.
Good
Yeah,
Lord,
you
you want
guys
us
up
on
for
for
it?
the finale?
I'm down. Wait,
You guys up for it?
Sorry.
fifth
we're
time.
closed.
Fifth time. I'm getting a jacket. I want the fifth time club.
I got your pizza. I can't afford a
No,
jacket.
it's fine. No, I'll buy my own.
We're bringing McDonald's.
If you want us here, we would be glad
All right.
to be here.
So, as you see next week, it's going to be Frank and Larry again because we didn't even get to them in their podcast. But check them out. Go on their Facebook page,
Give us the
Better Have
plug.
Podcast, and like 50 others. Just
about.
go to his Facebook page. It'll be much easier.
yeah, go to Larry's
And
Facebook.
that
Joe.
podcast is on hold right now? Or?
Yeah, well, having a wife,
On
kids,
hold,
and a
never
full job, it's just not dead in the water, but it's been slow
It's
going.
flowing, right?
It's going to happen
chum.
eventually. I have a Facebook group, so
You do.
It's been a little rough going. Again, I've just been doing a lot of work on my house, and I might be going through transition at work. So,
You're gonna become a female letter carrier.
well, I
woman.
identify as a postmaster, so I'm thinking, I could. Pick
Hey, why not? It works for
I could put
everybody
my
else.
head right up my ass, and I'd be good to go. Well, say that. Cut that out.
You'll see all of it. I can't. It's live. Damn it. We will see you all. This group will see you next
Yes.
week for a finale.
Thanks for
Have a
having
good
us,
one.
man.
Thank you.
Thanks for.